Education today faces a number of challenges. These also represent leadership opportunities to address each of these challenges. Here are 5 of them, and what we must do to rise to those challenges. Our first challenge is to hack assessment. We recently asked our teachers what one thing they hoped their students took away from their class at the end of their year. Teachers said things like, be able to collaborate, be empathetic, learn that failure is not the end of the world. Not one of them said, learn the capital of Venezuela, recite the Articles of Confederation, or find the volume of a sphere. The problem is we don't assess what we value. We tend to test things that are easier to measure. We haven't quite figured out yet how to effectively assess the harder stuff: empathy, collaboration, critical thinking, failure. We learn more from failure than we do from success. Why can't we get an A and fail? Maybe we should. The corollary to that is we overly value what we assess. So test scores and measures of content create the sense that in order to be a successful learner, we just have to be masters of content. So what's the opportunity here? Let's find ways to measure the process. Let's encourage kids to reflect and be metacognitive about their learning. Encourage them to show and share their work. Perhaps we can use wearable technology to gather data that will help us gain more insight into the process of learning for each kid. We already know how to use fitness trackers to help our physical health. Where's the Fitbit for academic health? Maybe that's coming. Challenge number 2, make it personal. The classroom is about the kid. Education gets this right. It's about kids. We're in this profession because deep down we realize that we're doing this for the students in our classrooms. What education gets wrong too often is that it's about each kid. In order to work at an increasing scale, we've adopted this factory model where we have one standard, one textbook, one syllabus. So what's the opportunity here? Create a personalized path for kids to follow through your class. We can learn a lot from games, which realized a long time ago that linear games with one way to win are boring. Suppose you allowed kids to declare a major in your class, or create side quests that branch off the main tree that challenge kids to chart their own paths. Challenge 3 is to engage kids in doing work that is personally meaningful. I call this build something that matters. We need to engage students in creating innovative solutions that meet a need or solve a problem. Now, the opportunity here is to engage kids in a process that develops empathy, where design is an integral part of the task. The kids are developing skills of learning, listening, brainstorming, and prototyping as they find ways to make something that's actually useful. We use design thinking or challenge-based learning in makerspaces for this process, but there needs to be room in the curriculum itself to allow kids the freedom to do this kind of open-ended design and creation. Challenge number 4 is to build networks. Get kids to know each other. Is your classroom a wheel or a web? If communities are made up of all of the interactions that occur, well, then if most of the interactions are between you and the kids, then your classroom is really more a series of transactional relationships, and it looks more like a wheel with you at the hub. Ideally, you want to strengthen the connections between kids so that they know each other and trust each other within your classroom. The opportunity is there to build a network within your classroom. Challenge number 5. Teachers are notoriously autonomous, but autonomy is ownership, and that's a good thing. Let change blossom. If you're a teacher, change begins in your classroom. Don't drive yourself crazy trying to change everything. Change one thing. What's your one thing? For leaders, don't expect change in a single classroom to happen overnight. Plant 1,000 seeds. See what blossoms. Lots of people doing their one best thing make real change. These are big challenges, I know, but if we can make it personal, build our networks, hack assessment, and build things that matter, we'll have our 1,000 flowers before we know it. Audrey Hepburn once said, "To plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow." We've got to believe that we can create that garden of learning together.